WMC Studios in Dallas, Texas.
Turn me up.
It's the Redboi Radio Show.
Hey, what's going on, my good people? This is your man, Redboi. It's the Redboi Radio Show. Let me thank y'all real quick for tuning into another edition of this award-winning show. Family, I hope y'all had a great couple weeks since the last time we were talking to one another. Been a lot going on, of course, but hopefully you are blessed. Hopefully you are good. Hopefully your family's in good health as we still try to navigate through this pandemic. Not only we got the pandemic of a COVID, we still got this pandemic with all this other crazy stuff going on in the world with school shootings, police brutality, the whole nine. So I hope if you're listening to my voice, you are going through a good time right now. And of course, we want to make sure we show some love and send out a couple prayers to those who may not be going through the good times as we are right now. Storms don't last always. So we hope they can get through it. But once again, family, thank you so much for tuning into the Redboi Radio Show. I got another great show for you today, family. You know how it is. This is content and conversations for the culture mixed with some classics. So the conversation we're going to have about today, family, is going to deal with our money. It's going to deal with them extra coins we want to have in the bank that sometimes we save a little bit just to buy something we probably shouldn't even really have, but we do it anyway because we either trying to floss to show off to somebody else that don't even give a damn about what it is we have in our pockets. So I got my mans here, man. We're going to have a wonderful conversation. So I want y'all to listen in, not just listen in, please take notes because it's very important as we continue to grow in this world, man. We know that we started way in the back of the line, if you know what I mean, when it talks about wealth and equality. We in the back. We trying to come to the front. So my man is going to break down some key points to give to you that you need to make sure you pay attention to so that we can actually start navigating ourselves towards the front, okay? Because it's not about us, fam. Once you get here and you begin to build and you got family behind you, it's about those folks that got to stay here behind us, like your kids and so forth. So just what I do each and every day, I try to make sure that I leave something behind for my son and those who are going to go on without me. That's the key. You know, that's the key. Yeah, we can always be selfish and always be about us, but it's bigger than us. It always has been. So make sure y'all tune into this. And make sure you take those notes, like I said. And if you're with me right now and you are tuned in live to my Facebook page or my YouTube, of course, if you got any questions throughout this show, go ahead and drop them, okay? But I'm going to get to my man here in just a second. But fam, once again, thank y'all so much. Again, it's going to be a great show. We're talking about money. Money. It's a good conversation for everybody to have, okay? So y'all make sure y'all tune into that. Other than that, fam, again, if you're out there, let me give you a shout out real quick. If you are tuning into my Facebook page, let me know where you are listening to from. Of course, if you're on YouTube as well, make sure you let me know where you are at. And hopefully if we get time throughout the show, I can show you some love and give you a shout out. Okay. Other than that, fam, just want to always make sure that I tell y'all how much I appreciate you and give y'all love for always supporting your boy. It's hard out here. All right, everybody trying to make it somehow, some way, and you guys always show me some love. So do me a favor. If you're showing me some love today and you are watching me live on my Facebook page, go ahead and hit that share button. All right, it costs you absolutely nothing to share. Even if you don't like it, share it anyway, because somebody else might like it. And then if they share it, somebody else might like it on that end, okay? And also, before we get into this, let me make sure I'm going to put this disclaimer out there. I'm going to do it probably once or twice so everybody understands. For those of you who are watching us live on my Facebook page and my YouTube, you know, we got copyright laws in this country. So therefore, as we get into some of the classics, then, of course, you know, if you're looking at me live, then the sound will be going out. The audio will go out, but that don't mean you got to get up and go. Stand by, and we'll come right back and continue our conversation. So once again, if you're watching me live, the audio will drop out during the music, but we'll be right back, and we'll continue this conversation with my special guest. All right, y'all got me? Cool. If that's the case, family, right now, we're going to get into one of my favorite classes since we're talking about money today. All right, this is my man Swiss Beats, Bigger Business. Y'all keep it locked right here, y'all. It's the Redboi Radio Show. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? This is Anthony Hamilton, and you're listening to the Redboi Radio.
Okay. Content and conversations for the culture. Mixed with classics. On TRBRS.
Who you know do it better.
Hey there, what up, family? This is your man, Redboi. It is the Redboi Radio Show, content and conversations for the culture mixed with classics. I am your host, Mr. Redboi, in the building. And today, family, I got another great show for you. We have a special guest in the building, and he is the CEO of Project Trillion, which exists to raise awareness to the issue of minority wealth inequality and provide action-based solutions for business ownership in our communities, which is very, very important. All right, so family, without further ado, y'all say what up to my man, Mr. David Nicholson, in the building. Hey, what's happening, man?
Man, you got it, man. Just moving and shaking, bro.
Moving and shaking like always. I hear you, bro. Hey, so let's get into this, man. Go ahead and break it down for the listeners out here. What is Project Trillion?
Project Trillion is the wealth gap movement. That's our slogan. Just through statistics and research, man, set apart this mission just to raise awareness. We have a lot of talk about the wealth gap.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of conversations about the wealth gap. We got a lot of political influencers, if you would, talk about the wealth gap. But what I realized consistently over and over again, it gets to the point of where it's numbing because they're never really in a effective results, effective plans. We talk about it, but transitioning into action-based solutions is far-fetched, all right? And so the way we look at it is 90% of the people are gainfully employed or let's say, in the working class or upward mobility class of people. About 60% of those people at least aspire to do their own thing.
Yeah.
Have a piece of ownership in the pie in the form of assets or business. Most people don't want to, I don't think people start out to set out to work for someone their entire life, right?
Right.
And so that's 60%. Probably about 60% of the 60% set out to do their own thing at some point, even if it's a side hustle. And what happens is 2 years or so into the business, you realize how hard it is. Some people are fortunate enough to make it over 5 years, which is, shout out to the people that make it over 5 years, but they run into the same thing consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of capital, lack of knowledge, because that's the only thing that run parallel with the wealth gap, the knowledge gap, and no mentorship. Looking in through the lens of, think about it, how many times do you hear the first generation college kid graduate?
Yeah.
The first entrepreneur. It's not really a legacy pass forward thing, right? So that lets you know right there that the information is short when it comes to reaching the goal. And so that's why we exist. We want to simplify the process for people, make sure they open their minds up to be receptive of the information and give them some tools to guide them along what we call the yellow brick road of the process.
Gotcha. There it is. Now, what exactly made you come up with this project or this idea of Project Trillion?
Marketing and technology consulting. I started out almost 15 years ago. I'm a tech guy, so I'm a software engineer. I build websites, apps, things of that sort, and design, flyers and marketing campaigns and all of those things for people.
Okay.
And so I started at small businesses, entrepreneurs trying to get started and going around and offering them services, right? This kind of simplify their process. Hey, put it all in one place, automate your process. The future is going to be faster. Technology is going to keep on growing and enhancing. And so I started there, man, doing it simple. And what happened after years of just grinding, hustling, going behind it, calling people, following up, traveling around, I was getting more business consulting questions rather than marketing and technology questions. And the reason why I was getting that is because of that knowledge gap thing, right?
Yeah.
People set out to be entrepreneurs and have no idea how to build a business. And so they start hustling, right?
Right.
And it feels good because you say, hey, I'm doing my own thing. I got this side hustle. This is my part-time. This is my this.
Yeah.
I open up this company. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. When you get to start talking to them about marketing and technology and what you need to invest to do, that's when the business ownership gap comes in. It's like, dang, I didn't even know I had to do all of this stuff just to get this. I was out running pretty much rampant, hustling.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make $1 million. That's what I aspired to do. But I'm never going to get there if I don't have this business knowledge. And so that learning curve is what gets most people to fall out of the race.
I see it a lot because, of course, me being an entrepreneur myself, trying to build my own business, I see a lot of folks want to be in a certain spot but don't want to invest the right amount of change, the right amount of coins to get there. They think it's an overnight success, or they see the people that they see who are there and they believe they are overnight success. They never see the backside of it, how hard it was to get there, because you had to. I always say that you got to spend money to make money.
Yep.
That's what it is. So that's great to have right there, man. So I know we got a lot of stuff that we're gonna go with today. So I want to make sure people get that, particularly kind of break down. I know we want to talk about the wealth gap itself. I mean, kind of explain to them so everybody can know exactly where we as a Black community stand right now when it comes to the wealth gap.
Sure. So being into the tech world, everything revolves around numbers. I'm not necessarily a finance guy, but I do understand power of financials.
Okay.
And so being that in that mindset, you have to go to the numbers for everything. And so let's look at it this way. The African American population, percentage wise, is anywhere, depending on the given chart, given census, 14 to maybe 18% of the population. Boils down to about 50 plus million people here in the country, right?
Right. Okay.
Right. Now, we as a community control at any given time or cycle of economic spending close to a third. Right? But the percentage of ownership is below 5%.
Wow.
Right? So if you take that same template and apply it towards all the other minority communities, they're all lining up what and what. And we're all doing the same thing, spending almost $2 trillion a year annual, right? We're debating in Washington about $1 trillion spending bill
for infrastructure.
Right. Yeah. But we got these individual communities contributing almost $2 trillion a year spending in places they don't even own.
Wow.
The numbers don't lie, man. So the real deal is the wealth gap is going to continue to spread if we don't put enough ownership in these prospective communities where we spend the money at the most. You got your giants out there, your Amazon, your Walmarts, and all of this. That's all cool. We all spend money with them.
Yeah, we're making them a whole lot of money. Yeah.
Exactly. And we just went through Black Friday. From before Thanksgiving to the end of this year, of that $2 trillion or so, it's probably about 40% of it is spent just in this time alone.
So within this 30-day time frame.
Within this
start from
45
Black
days,
Friday, that they call it, all the way to...
Let's go to Halloween, all the way to the end of the year. Let's start there.
Yeah, okay.
Buying candy.
Right? Costumes, okay.
All of those things right there.
Yeah.
Then you look up and say, okay, Thanksgiving is coming up. How much are we spending on turkey dressing and all of these things, right? Food, right? And then Black Friday is right after that because you're preparing for the sales. Yeah. Which is economically empowering everybody but us. They see you got a 95% or more business ownership on the other side. And that's a astounding gap right there. So how do we get ourselves in a position where we understand our consumer habits?
Which would be hard for a lot of us. Because we are so, and from my perspective, we are so conditioned to look at what we think is the big picture, i.e., look at what such and such got. Oh, look at what they got over here. I need that. I need that shirt. I need them shoes. I need them pants. I need that car. I need all these things. And like you brought up earlier, talking about that time frame within those months from Halloween on, I always laugh, and because I'm not a big gift guy. I've got everything. I worked hard to get everything I need, and I'm straight. So anyone outside that buy me a gift or what, I don't really care to have it. I want your time and energy. That's me, right?
Right.
Because you look at that, and if you kind of hit that switch and get out of that condition that we're in about what we have to have because this time is here, it's time to go spend some money. You think about it. On that Thursday that you sit down and eat, right? For a lot of us, those who do celebrate or indulge in that holiday, you're at the table saying what? Thank you
Thank you.
for what I have.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go out on that Friday morning, early Friday morning,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right after you just got through thinking God with what all you have, now you go out and get more.
Exactly.
But you say you already got what you need, you already got what you have, and now you got to go spend more money.
Yep.
And that's our mentality. That's sad, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. And while we're spending that, back to the ownership piece of it, we don't own it. But look at the levels of where we don't own.
Yeah.
I'll give you some hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Now, we being thankful for the food that we're about to partake in, right?
Yeah.
Feast, right? Beautiful. Turkey, dressing, greens. You know how
The
it
whole
goes,
nine,
right? The whole
right.
9.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So who is the owner of the distribution channels that got that cornmeal there for that dressing? The farmer that grew those greens, right? Or those beans, green beans or whatever you have, right? Who owns those things? Who owns the trucks that distribute those things, right? And when you start to get into those levels, it's like, man, we'll never be able to close the gap because we don't own enough on the sides of things that we have and we take for granted. And some of these things are fairly simple if we put enough collective minds together towards that goal.
Yeah.
You don't have to have 50 million people to move this gap. You don't. 100,000, couple 100,000 people with the planning ability, agreeing on the same points, lack of ownership, agreeing that we have food deserts, right? Agreeing that we have the impoverished, agreeing that we have schools that are under par, agreeing that education is not passed around, agreeing that we only get taught economics and government for a semester apiece in high school.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
How many more people would understand the power of what the federal government and taxation is and how the economy actually works if we got that for at least 4 years in high school, not just for a semester? See, the mindset changes. So what we do, we get in line, we go get this education, we graduate. We're going to rinse and repeat the same thing for the first 2 years of college, right? At a substantially higher rate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just to get the paper. While you're there, if you hadn't been taught, you're probably going to get a couple credit cards with no real job. Then you're going to graduate with debt. Majority are. Because everybody's not fortunate to have a scholarship or parents with deep pockets to pay your way through that tuition.
Right.
And now you're going out and creating this debt cycle. And you started this thing at 18, 17, 18 years old. Did you know that the system says that you're going to work for at least 47 years?
Well, you can actually sit down and enjoy it all.
Man, come on.
Right. At that time, it's already too late. Yeah. You're not doing a whole lot of enjoying. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So at 65 years old is the bar.
Yeah.
Say, right?
Yeah.
At what point are you going to be an entrepreneur? At what point are you going to own this? And if you hadn't been taught to build a substantial retirement and put back at least a quarter of every dollar or 30% of every dollar the whole time, it's going to be kind of hard.
Yeah.
And so, we just look at it differently.
Yeah, I got you. And it's all about, for me, as you speak, is listen to how you're speaking. It's all about shifting that energy. We put, again, I'm going back to what I said in the beginning. We have so much, or we switch so much energy into trying to be like or look like, you know what I mean, something or someone, when that's not necessarily important. Again, it goes back to, what are you going to leave behind? What are you gaining in the process, trying to make other people continue to be famous? You spending all them dollars on their clothes and stuff, and even to the point to where I know now, as I'm speaking, when it comes to gifts, and it's why another reason why I had to shift my energy or my focus when it comes to gifts is, if you really, really think about it, all we're doing is trading money.
That's it.
I don't want to put a knock on anybody. I don't want to make y'all upset, because y'all probably out shopping right now, listen to my voice. But if you really pause for a moment and think about it, how much are you putting towards yourself and the longevity of it? Because if I buy you a gift, you buy me a gift, what do we just do? We exchange $20.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not going anywhere. It's not moving anywhere. It's not making moves. It's just, bring you joy for about 2 or 3 seconds? Because once you, oh, nice, I appreciate it, we're gone.
That's it.
And it is gone. So it's all about energy shifting, fam. It's all about that. So, hey, we got much more to go, fam, with my man Dave, man. He's in the building. Once again, he is the CEO of Project Trillion. We talking about this wealth gap, fam. We talking about how we can make money for us. So y'all keep it locked right here on the Redboi Radio Show. We'll be right back.
Listen, throwback hip hop and R&B.
Bring it back.
With Mr. Throwback himself,
Throw that back.
Redboi on the Redboi Radio Show.
All right, family, we are back once again. This is the Redboi Radio Show. I am your man, Redboi. This is content and conversations for the culture. I got my man Dave in the building, who is the CEO of Project Trillion. We're having a wonderful conversation when it comes to our own money, spending money to make money, and we're talking about wealth gap, knowing the knowledge of what that is and how to adjust your mind and your energy to start making things happen for you instead of making everybody else rich. You can actually put some change in your pocket and do ownership. So we've been going over that, fam. We got much more. So if you're if you are watching me on Facebook and or YouTube, please understand that while music is playing in the background, you might see us talking, but you don't hear anything. And that is because of copyright laws. We cannot play the music while we are streaming live. So please know, if you are tuning in and you hear it go out, don't leave. Stand by. We come right back with the audio. So just want to make sure you are aware of that, so you don't burn out and be like, man, look at Redboi and them. They ain't got their stuff working right. We good over here. All right, so make sure y'all know that, okay? So once again, my man Dave's in the building, man. We've already talked about the wealth gap, and as far as the knowledge and how we don't get anything until we get into high school, one class, and we're done. We're going to move on. Let's talk about, the economic spending power in the minority community. So tell me a little bit more about that, why that's important.
The spending power is where we tend not to look for the extra.
Yeah.
Right? If we focus more on the consumer-driven mindset, then you can understand how you can move a few chips around, start to invest in yourself. All right? Savings is always one thing. Savings is typically tied to credit.
Okay.
Lack of knowledge is tied to both. Right? And so, a couple $1 trillion is not nothing you can just swing at. That's
Right.
a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And then you start doing that times a few communities,
Mm-hmm.
you start getting up to close to $6 trillion quickly between just African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians. That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
And so when you say that the controlling and ownership power, that if we shift our focus to what we were spending it on
Mm-hmm.
versus the lack of when you spent all,
Mm.
then it's safe to say with a few years of work that we can understand how that couple $1 trillion or so of the $6 can be shifted the other way.
Right. Yeah.
And instead of running around exchanging money, we had the gift conversation a few minutes ago. I buy you a gift for your birthday. We expect to do the same thing indirectly. I buy you a gift for Father's Day. You buy me something for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Neither one of us got any gratification out of that other than the exchange of the tangible item.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was a gift card, tickets to a show, a shirt, socks, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Who benefited? We got the tangible aspect, but the owner got the monetary value.
True.
At the end of the day, this happens over and over again. Apply that to any bucket where there's no ownership. Right? And so instead of us fighting the war of minorities against minorities, and saying that, hey, we hear this all the time, especially in the Black community. Black people don't like to spend money with other Black people. The prices is too high. I'd rather go down the street and spend a little bit more for the service and all of those different stereotypes. Typically what's happening is we're hemorrhaging economically. We have a lack of knowledge. We have the lack of resources. We're paying more because we don't know enough, right? And these distribution channels aren't set up in a line because we don't own any of them, right? Flip side of that thing, we're sitting, we do petty back and forth about this thing, and none of it's productive towards the spending. That's where the jewel is. We're looking in the wrong place, looking for love in all the wrong places, man. We're not, that's where it is. And so when we talk about the spending power, shifting the gap starts with us understanding the power that we actually have, not the power that we don't. And that's where it is.
And that's a hard mindset to get to, because again, right now, as we're having this conversation, I can't help but to think, I know there's a lot of people that might be listening right now and thinking, well, dang, do we have to have this during the holiday? Again, because it's the mindset.
Yeah.
It's the mindset and the energy that we put towards it. And we, again, and as we talked offline here during the music break, is the fact that a lot of us, as we sit here, we think that we want to get to that goal, but we don't think we got enough time. But if you think about it right, there's a whole lot of stuff that you have purchased, right? That you'll put on your credit card or maybe even a car, whatever it is, right? You have to pay that off over time, right? So you got time for that, but not necessarily. But you tell yourself you don't have time to do this, and it's all about the energy. Yeah,
it's the psyche, man.
Yeah.
We feel like that we're running out of time because it's baked into the cake to make you feel as though this offer only lasts so long, and the time clock is going there down to get that sale. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
the mindset.
Yeah,
right. You're rushing to do it. How fast has the last year went by? You remember what you were doing last Thanksgiving?
My God, this year went by too fast.
Right.
Yeah.
You can probably almost go back and remember most of 2020, right?
Right.
Right. So if you've lived through that time in that short amount of time, those numbers we just talked to are now times 2.
Mm. Yeah.
How much time is it?
Yeah.
It didn't take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Or a lot of effort to get through those years, but we stayed in that same matrix, right? Still spinning on a hamster wheel, expecting a different result. And so it's about being around the right people. Everybody has to do a self-evaluation first, is what I tell people.
Yeah.
Once you do a self-evaluation, then you got to do an environmental evaluation, because a lot of times we're products of our environment indirectly, whether that's friends, family, business partner, associates, whatever.
Yeah.
Are those people thinking the way you're thinking, or y'all thinking on the same page other than the consumer mindset? I mean, because that's there. I mean, most of your environment, you look around, okay, that nice car, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice outfit, okay, that's cool. Yeah. Nice bag for the ladies, nice hairdo, okay, so on and so forth. And even going past those levels right there, the person that did your hair, they went about products. How many of us own those products?
Products, the space, the chair, the whole, the suite or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not there. And so the trickle down economics doesn't trickle down to certain places, and that's just being realistic with it. And so how do we shift it? Ownership.
Yeah.
That's it.
Gotcha. And I want people to understand as we have this conversation, so you have an understanding, we're not saying don't go and, everybody likes to have nice, by no means it was, you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. I think the conversation, what we're saying is yes, it's okay to have those things, but we can also, if you can have those things, look how much more you can have for yourself if you shift your perspective, if you shift your energy and say, okay, yes, this is what I want over here, but I also got the same amount of coins in my pocket to build this, or to start this business, or to start my own podcast, or start my own website, or whatever. Because everybody's got a particular talent and or a purpose. Sometimes we just gonna have to tap into it. You know what I mean? And don't consume yourself so much in trying to be like I said, be like or look like everybody else. Tap into what your purpose is. Tap into your talent and build off of that. Because I guarantee you, somebody gonna like it.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna need your particular service or your particular expertise in something, even if it's just, I meet a lot of people now being in the podcasting business. Some people, they don't do, and I don't mean to say like doing nothing. They do a lot, but a lot of them they're building a business off of just sitting down, speaking.
Yeah.
It's just speaking engagements, just running their mouth, telling everybody how they look and feel about certain particular projects or whatever, but that's where they make the money at.
Yep.
So you got to tap into it.
You got to tap into whatever your talent is.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing in what I've learned, and this is just through just trial and error.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know because we weren't taught in most cases.
Yeah.
So this is not a beat yourself up conversation.
Yeah.
This is more so about it ain't your fault conversation, but you still have, if you woke up in your right mind, you still have an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And don't beat yourself up about it. It's not your fault, but there is a lot of knowledge and information. We're in an information world with technology. There's really no excuse. Instead of just scrolling and checking out what everybody else is doing and giving a like, and don't get me wrong, that's all fine because it helps grow information. But just a few minutes of that time researching your thing, right? A few minutes of the time following people that are going to put you in that headspace you need to be in to understand what it is that you do well. That's some of the best use of your time. Spend about a third of that time researching what it is that you're good at. And there are a lot of different analyses and evaluations you can take out here online that we can help you along the way.
Oh, cool. So you have that set up as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you got it. And we're definitely going to get into more of the services that you all provide and what have you. I definitely want people to get a taste of that. And you said something too about people being online. I think we got this world we're living in right now where you got some people on one side saying they can't stand social media and the other side they love social media, right? And I look at it from an aspect, I don't have any problem with social media because it actually helps me be connected with other people, not because I have a platform, right, which does help, but at the same time you get to meet other people because you never know what that other person is doing, what they have, and you might see something on social media that piques your interest. Well, hey, they're doing it. I can do that too. Let me figure out a way I can do what they do, but in my own way. You know what I mean? So if you use social media the right way, it can profit you in so many ways. I mean, look, I'm not gonna knock nobody for whatever it is you do to make your money. You make your money, and if social media happens to be that way to make it, that's another part of, again, that's, I don't think we see it that way, but and tell me if I'm wrong. Even if you have your own, like I said, a social media platform, and you started to get paid for posting, and that like your own ownership, it's you, right?
You control your network, you control your followers, you control your data.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
We're in a technology-driven world. I'm a tech guy.
Yeah.
So I understand the power of data. I understand the power of the digital space and occupying your equity share in the digital space arena. You got to keep in mind, digital space is online digital real estate. At the same time, there's space there for you, right? Billions and billions of people in the world, and you got your group of followers. You're not doing anything to step on anybody else's toes by using the power of technology.
Right. Right.
All right. So if talking is your thing, and getting people connected and following, so you can turn around and either sell them software as a service or a tangible product, or giving them good information, because the knowledge base is your thing, or the education. I'm big on education and knowledge base myself. I like to enlighten people as we talk through the process, because I feel like if the more you share, the more you enlighten, the simpler things get for people, right?
Gotcha. Right.
If you're not sharing any information, then it's kind of useless in the space of technology. So I'm on the side of with you. Social media is a good thing if you use it right.
Right.
You know, you have these tools at your fingertips for a reason. They shouldn't all be used as bad. Now, if you feel like it's bad, then you probably need to change your environment of people that are your friends and followers on social media.
True that.
Because you have that ability too.
Right. You got ability to keep on scrolling.
Yeah, you can keep scrolling. You can block. You can unfollow. You can do all kinds of things.
Yeah, and that's why I said that vehicle of technology was created so that we all could connect. But what are you connecting for? And if you're connecting for just drama, then you'll be the one to say, I can't stand Facebook. It's too much drama. Well, that means you invite it into you. You know what I mean? Because you can just dismiss all that and keep going and reach out to people that you know will listen and hear what you got to say and so forth. That's why I always ask people at the beginning of my shows, those who are watching live, just share. You know what I mean? And again, you may not like the content, but you never know who else is going to like the content.
Right.
You know, we talked before we got online. There was never, for me, never an expectation for my closest friends and family members to build me where I want to go. I'm looking at those strangers that have no idea who I am, who happen to come up on the show or the platform one day and be like, hey, I like that. And what do? They start sharing, hey, I like this. Hey, check this out. Oh, hey, check this out, you know? And, you know, but you got some folks who won't never share your stuff anyway because they don't want to. It's unfortunate. And that's another thing about us with our mentality, our condition. We got to get better at not allowing ourselves to be in a space of being upset or bothered because someone else's light is shining while yours may be at this particular time dim. Shift your energy.
Yeah, man.
It's there, you know?
You got them trolls, man. They stalking you. I call them.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
They vicariously living through everybody else. They like you, but they don't like you.
Right, exactly. And it's unfortunate, you know what I mean? Very, very unfortunate. Once again, fam, we are here with my man, Dave Nicholson. He's the CEO of Project Trillion. We are discussing our money, our wealth, how we can also just do better, family, when it comes to spending. Now, I know some of y'all are listening right now. You might think, man, Ray, this is a bad time to be doing this, man. It's Christmas. I already put the money to the side. I got the Xbox on layaway. I'm finna go pick it up next week. You know, I get it. I understand. You know what I mean? But I want to make sure this type of information gets out to everybody. Is something that's very, very important, fam, because I know for me, yes, I am one of those type of people that I like to have what we deem as, or what the world may deem as, nice things, okay? But there's nothing that I have within my life purchased where I purchased for someone else's benefit, i.e., hey, dude, look at me. Look at what I got. It's all for me. So my house is my shelter. My car is my transportation. There's nothing else other than. I mean, some folks might look at the name of it and what brand it is, and that's on you to do. Yeah, do I want to drive something? Absolutely. but it doesn't carry me. That's not nothing I'm looking for. I'm not making my money just so I can have those things. I'm making it so that I know, even with this Redboi radio show, I want to leave something behind.
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave my son this legacy, because someone asked him, it's funny, someone asked me the other day, hey, so when you going to go in and get on the radio? And without hesitation, my son responded, you know what, I'm thinking probably in the next 2 years, I'll be ready. Just out the blue.
Yeah.
And it shocked me. I'm sitting in the front door like, did he just say that? And I couldn't do nothing but back up like, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. Tap myself on the back. I'm doing all right. Yeah.
Indirectly mentorship, bro.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I mean, you're leading by example. He's picking up what you're putting down, and you didn't have to pour it on him.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's the way it goes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man, so reach one, teach one. That's how it goes, man. And we have to continue to pass that knowledge forward. It's so powerful, man.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
And I just hope people get the information and actually see how powerful it is. And I think if we pause for a month and come together, we can actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think one of the biggest things that we have to do, and this is my perspective, is that we've got to get out of that mentality of me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to do that. I don't do this. No one made it anywhere in this life without help from someone else, And imagine if we pause and just come together and hey, instead of buying all these gifts, hey, let's meet for Christmas for a business plan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the best Christmas gift you can probably give somebody.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
It changed their life.
Yeah.
Those fruitful conversations are priceless.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, man, it's about paying the knowledge forward. Nobody has ever built wealth by themselves.
Right.
Ever. So we're not saying, hey, just go do it and own it and go.
Yeah.
That's going to be kind of hard. But you put a bunch of collective minds and resources together and share that information and build these circle of influences and empower people with the knowledge. Now you just put together other relationships on how we can go and build something together and not work against each other because, like you were saying, the me.
Yeah.
Me is not all bad if you keep me in the box. You got to understand who me is and at the time to use me. Sometimes you got to disconnect me from other people to be a better me.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes that light is so bright you can create enemies from just being your inner me.
There you go.
And that sometimes is overwhelming to people, and a lot of people aren't ready for that. You know what I mean? And you don't have to necessarily do anything bad to them to feel that way, but it's indoctrinated into the culture, and there's nothing we can do about it. But fruitful, positive conversations about building something, not only that's going to leave legacy, because if you're not thinking about legacy, then you're just not in the right headspace right now. That's just being candid.
Right. No, you're right about that.
The speed of everything and how things move. You got a young son. That young king now is going to be privy to things that you never saw when you were growing up.
Oh, not at all. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the speed of those things in which he consumes that knowledge is now faster. We got a computer in our pocket.
A computer, a calendar.
Everything in our pocket keeps you up to date.
Yeah.
And so with that exposure, social media, things being taught, they're separating things in the education system now. So you have to be aware of those things.
Yeah.
And so what does the future knowledge sharing look like?
Yeah.
And if we hadn't put down any solid foundation for them to build on top of, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it is. And it's unfortunate because you do, I'm going to say this because it needs to be said. There are a lot of parents, and I may not necessarily want to come off as if I'm knocking your way of raising your child. But what I do see and what gets to me, it does bother me, it's got to be honest, is the fact that I see a lot of parents more worried about, because they're built in a sense of buying certain things for appearance purposes to show everybody else, hey, look at what I got. So it trickles down. They buy their certain clothes and dress up their kids, take pictures and post them on social media so they can see, like, look what their kid got. And now you're setting a mindset for your child. If I don't have this, then where's my worth? And I always got to ask, when I see people like that, I see your nice clothes. I see your Gucci. I see your bags. I see all that. I see your nice little Porsches. But who are you? And like you said, what is your legacy?
Yeah. What's left?
Yeah.
Is that all of this goes down today? What happens tomorrow? Where is it?
Yeah.
No, it's not there, and that's a show, if you would. Might as well change careers, because if you're not acting
Right. Yeah.
then you need to go shift gears and go get into acting because those people make good money themselves if they do it right, if they're good enough, right?
And then they own it. Then it's their ownership.
Yeah, and that's
They
their
own
ownership.
their
That's
name,
their
their
thing.
product that they're putting out. You're right.
Yeah, but I don't have to shoot a shot at you to tell you that's, ineffective,
Yeah.
to say the least. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Perception is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah.
Still is and always will be. And some people believe in the art of perception to persuade others to perceive that they're in the right headspace, knowing that's not really what they are because, it's a facade, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
facade. I'd rather show you this company I just owned or I just bought, I purchased into, and me and some partners got together and we said, hey, we're going to help, 10 entrepreneurs get started.
Yeah.
Right. And we're going to vet these business plans and walk them through some informational things that they probably hadn't heard, break it down to simple layman's terms and show them how to structure the company right so they can go raise capital and build a leg of legacy.
Yeah. There we go, man. That's it. Selena from Grand Prairie, Texas, she basically said, what if we start buying a kid's savings bonds for their birthdays instead of the newest Hot Wheels set?
Hey, man, buy them a savings bond, open them up a company. Hey, there's no laws that says that you can't go buy a company and make your kid part owner of it. Not one.
Man, repeat that one more time.
There's no law that says that you can't go and open a company and make your kid part owner of it, even at a young age.
Wow.
No, you got to be 16 to drive. You got to be 21 to drink. You got to be this to do that. You got to be. No laws there. All right. There's no law. So saving bonds, anything with an asset component that you can make your kid part of, the earlier the better, right? Because now what you're doing is setting their life up and you're teaching them indirectly, hey, look what I did. Here's what I was thinking of you for your future. Now, granted, in this world of technology, they're, oh, Dad, oh, Mom, we don't even think about stuff like that no more. You know how kids are. Kids, right? But when they get up in age, they start to appreciate these things of value more than they appreciate that Tonka truck or that toy set of this Lego this or this. Because when they get 19 years old, that 6-year-old toy has zero value. Now, some things can hold their value. Some things.
More
but,
the technical side of things will,
But when you start thinking about assets, those are things that you buy with the intent to hold, to increase value, potentially to either hold it and continue to grow it or potentially sell it to go roll that money into another asset. And then you start talking about taxing and principles of taxation and how you can grow money without having to pay a lot of taxes on it. Because we all get mad. It'd be like, dang, Donald Trump ain't paid no taxes on that money. Jeff Bezos ain't paid no taxes on that
you know
money.
we live. Them taxes ain't no joke.
Yeah, tax. Ain't put no tax on it. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Accounting. Understand the tax law. Understand that the gate was left wide open in this thing called business ownership. That's why there are only a few at the top because they understand it. And most of us are scrambling, getting mad at those that are at the top or getting upset with them in some kind of way. But the gate was wide open. The gate didn't have a color on it. You can go right in. You just have to have the knowledge.
And there you go, back to that same thing, the knowledge that we definitely lack in the community because it's not enough of it, of course. But I keep harping back to that day because it's very important. You keep saying knowledge. Because if we stop and pause, they're not pushing knowledge, right? They're pushing the shiny gold, all the material for you. So, hey, make this money and buy this, you know what I mean? Not knowledge of, wait a minute, don't buy this. What if you do this? And then you can continually grow instead of spending all your money, saving your money for one thing that will, like you said, does not hold any value and it's going to depreciate.
It's going to depreciate.
Yeah. You know? It's weird. Yeah.
It's going to depreciate, man, over and over again. And that is the consumer mindset that's put in front of you at all times. It's built in. I like to say it's baked into the cake.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't go in and just extract parts out of the cake once the recipe is formed. You done whipped it and baked it, and it comes out. You cut a slice of it. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Well, if that cake predated you even being born, then you're born into a baked cake.
Yeah.
And it takes somebody to come along and put your boxes together and untangle those things and say, hey, this box is for that. This is for this. This is for that. Now, here's what you can do, right?
Yeah.
And we can start teaching kids this is under 10 because the basic principles of mathematics and reading and English and proper grammar and so those components are starting to be built in already. So
Yeah.
it's not really too early at that point to get them to start to understand, considering the fact that the parents should be, that's going to be the ones that the kids get to know first.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that they can rely on first. So you should be in charge of showing them how these things work first before the
Right.
world gets a chance to
Show
give
themselves.
them everything, and now you can shape their focus on where you want them to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and with that being said, we're getting ready to lock up this particular episode of the Redboi Radio Show. We got a part 2 coming up. So if you missed the majority of this one right now, though, for those of you who are watching us live right now, we will have a part 2 to this show. I'm going to keep my man Dave here. Because we got so much more to talk about. Like we keep going back to this thing about knowledge. There's so much more education that we're going to need to make sure our dollars work for us. So I want you guys to get that information. And once you get the information, I want to make sure you follow my guy. Make sure you log onto the website, hit him up, get some additional information, and just, hey, let's make it work, family, for everybody. And again, I'm harping back again to that knowledge because we'll sit here around and we think it's funny and it's cool and it might, and hell, you know, I'll be honest, it might gain you some attention if you're out there and you're on social media and you learn all these TikTok moves and everything with your kid. Guess what? Yeah, you might be the one that's chosen. They might choose you and pay you some change. You know, I look at the Cad family. You know who the Cad family is?
Yeah.
The UK. I mean, I look at them. Look, and that's why I love what I do. Their love of music. What they do? They took it. They put it on social media, and they embedded it into their daughters, and now look at them. They've grown just in case y'all don't know the whole story, and I'm talking about the Cad family. I'm talking about the gentleman who sits in the car with his little girl who knows all these old school songs. They be going back and forth, and they're from the UK. They were able to, him and his wife, because of their love, that's where it started, their love of music. They took that love, put it into their kids, put on video, and now both of them were able to quit their 9-to-5s all in one for social media.
Yep.
So while we learn the TikTok videos for cuteness, let's see if you can make it work for you. Don't make it work for a good laugh, yes, but make it work for you.
Monetize, man.
Monetize. There it is. There it is. So, fam, again, I appreciate y'all tuning into this particular episode of the Redboi Radio Show. Once again, family, we do have another part 2. So once this fades to black, make sure you push the button and listen to the next episode as well. For those of you who are following us on social media, i.e. Facebook and YouTube, of course, we will cut this feed off, but then we'll come right back. So if your notifications are set, I want you to come right back with us because we got much more to talk about with my man, CEO of Project Trillion, Mr. David Nicholson's in the building, y'all. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all come right back with us. Thank you so much for enjoying this episode. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.